Good morning everybody, Saturday morning in the beautiful ski resort of Val D'Isere, which wasn't open yesterday and doesn't look
Cross the
very
roundabout
open
and
today.
take the second exit, D902, Avenue Olympic.
But we're about to set off for the highest paved pass in France, the Col de Iseran, which is just shy of 2,800 metres, and this 9-mile section is one of the steepest sections on the Tour de France. So we will come back to you when we get a little bit
After
closer.
100 yards, cross the roundabout.
We have just come over the Pont Charles, which should be somewhere in your view, if I can actually see it, where all those camper vans are parked down in that small lay-by. And we've already, in just a few minutes, climbed all that way. This is a mad bit of countryside. Made it to the Col de Iseran, and you might as well have a full 360. There's a little restaurant and the chapel and the downhill section, and back. Well, this is Fort Télégraphe. It's here to protect the pass coming in. You can see that it has a commanding view across the valley. We're going to have a little walk up. Helen said that in 1939-1940 the Italians backing up the Germans did try and get here, but didn't manage it. It'd have been nice to have gone in, but I'm sure we'll have a good look around. Well, that was Fort Télégraphe. Built in 1885. Couldn't really see the front of it, but there's like a little kids trail going all the way around, and it's in English and in French. You can download a little app, and it just guides you around and teaches you a little bit of things like orienteering and map reading and looking at stuff. But it's been a nice walk.
Been lovely.
It's no wonder we don't get many miles done in a day, because when we see things we just stop.
Yeah, but that's the beauty of it.
It is the beauty of it. So we're going to go back, maybe have a little bite to eat, and then we'll maybe have a look at see where we're going to stop for the night. But I don't think it's going to be too far away. But yeah, not the highest of passes coming up here, but it was entertaining.
That's beautiful.
And Buff has had a wonderful time because the lizards are out, and she has been running and trying to chase and trying to catch them.
And she's far too slow.
Yeah,
But
and
that's
she's
okay.
on a lead, so
Yeah.
and some of them just stand still. We could see one. There's one on the rock right there. She's just walked past.
Oh yeah.
Well, here we are at a very windswept Col de Galibier at 2,642 metres. I decided not to put Bryan through the tunnel, but actually bring it right to the top.
That's okay.
It's the first time I've had to go down to first gear to get him up, and yeah, I thought it was a bit touch and go. I could have done with carrying, I should have gone into first before I got to the corner, but we got up here and it's all downhill from here on. Well, morning everybody. Sunday morning.
3rd of October, I think.
Yeah. Whoa. 100 days of living in the van.
Is it?
It is, 3rd of
wow.
October, I think so.
Oh, happy
I will check that
anniversary.
record later, but I think it is. But we set off, having had a cool evening up at Col de Lautaret, whatever it was. But we've just done the Col de Lizard at 2,600 and something metres. It was quite a steep climb up, but the roads have been quiet, hardly any cyclists.
You can see all the markings on the road though for the Tour de France.
Yeah.
Just spurring them on. I wouldn't fancy doing it on a day like today because although it looks absolutely gorgeous, it's fresh.
Yeah, it's first day that we've not had full blue skies, and there is a very cool wind blowing in.
Yeah.
But we'll get on our way. I don't know where we're going to stop tonight, but we'll find somewhere. Hello everyone, Sunday afternoon. We've just arrived in the village of Allos, and we're here because we've had to divert off the main route. We did try and follow the Route de Grand Alps, and it took us first of all past the sign that says 3 metres, no caravans, but it didn't specifically say you can get your camping car through or your motorhome. But then it took us onto some of the very narrow bridges with very close overhang on the gorge of the river, and we got to a wide section, and by wide I mean it was 2 metres longer than Bryan is, and we both decided that we would find a different route. The different route was a legit route, because when I looked at it later, the whole route that we were driving along, according to my sat nav, was forbidden for the size and weight of the vehicle. So we actually did another mountain pass, and by that point of the day I was a bit tired. I didn't want to have to do it, but we're here at Allos. It's a beautiful spot, it's free, it's huge. If you want electric, you can go and get some tokens and put it in, but it's wonderful, it's just nice, and I'm really glad that we got here because it's 4:15. That's probably the longest day's driving that I've done. Gonna have to watch out because there's a goat ape kind of thing in these trees here, and it's more of a ghost squirrel, and I think Buff is really going to enjoy that. But I don't know how far into these videos we're going to get to go, but I'm going to try and cut some together tonight and edit part of the Route de Grand Alps, but I think it's going to be long, and I think it's probably going to be 2. But we're going to try and rejoin it at a place called Saint Etienne somewhere or other. I've got it programmed into the sat nav to take us there, and hopefully the route will reconnect. But for Sunday evening, it's good night.